Alright, everybody. Well, I'll give some time for folks to roll in. Should be plenty of time since we still have our... Yep, since we still have some time before the unlock. If I didn't get the time zones wrong. I always worry about getting the time zones wrong, you know? Like, it's just... I hate time zones. They're annoying to keep track of. All that stuff. So, you know. But, looks like we're good there. So... with that, we can take a look here. So, again, to catch people up on where we were and what we're doing, let me get the chat open. Hello! Hello, LD. Oh my goodness, you're always here, I swear. Do you do anything else? I don't mean that badly. Like, I'm just like on a second monitor, just off in the corner of the eye there. You got on standby, just like, alright, when he comes on, I'm in. In! And why are you doing this to me now? Why do I not have... there used to be a chat window right here, and I was able to easily chat, and now it's something else entirely. I don't get you, YouTube. Why do you keep doing things to me that are weird and strange, and that... whatever. Alright, anyway. Fucking YouTube. Alright, so, what is up? What is up is that we have the YFMS staking contracts out. Now, to be clear, we still have the rewards locked up in the vault. To show that, let me just get one last thing set up. They are still locked up in the vault. We can see that is the case by bringing up in Bloxy. So again, we've got YFMS loading up. Pardon me, as that just takes a moment. Come on, you. There we go. We've got YFMS here. In that, we can go, there's the token. That is correct. Yes, that does appear to be correct. Fantastic. And so we can see here where, there, for example, are the transactions, where it was first set up, and then things were moved around from various contracts to the, to the staking contract. So again, that's where we're just showing the various transactions over the life. Originally it was created, then they deposited in the original escrow vault, then that got transferred out into the new escrow vault to buy us time for doing more development and testing, and we can see from the holders that, bam, that is still primarily holding. Most of those YFMS are still in the original, or the latest escrow vault. There we go, looking over there, boom, we can see that it still has the locked rewards, and there it is. We can even see here with the lock reward tokens function that we can track. There is, bam, our info there, and so we can see, yep, they are there. Whoops, that's not what I meant. They are there, and thus are just waiting for that timer to tick down. And so that is where I've got Commander Astra here in chat, private DMs with me, so pardon as I got that open, and so we can keep abreast of each other and going on. So thank you everyone for joining. I make blockchain YouTube. Well, we kind of have that. That's called library. So actually, I've been meaning I need to grab the videos off here, go put them on library. Need also set up PeerTube, but you know what? We'll get to all the questions. That's beautiful. I want to make sure we can focus on this right now, so go ahead, send in your questions. By all means, I will get to them, comments and all that, but I want to make sure, one, that we're keeping abreast of what is happening here, and that we can follow that through. So again, not neglecting you guys, I will just get back to that from here. I said no rug pull, but spanking. Talk to me later. This is professional time. We can talk about personal matters later. I'm flattered, but not right now. Daddy's working. So we've got our the transaction here where they were locked way back when on the 22nd. That was for 7 days at the time. That was hard-coded in the call for the lock rewards tokens, so that put it down as 9:44 p.m. or sorry, yeah, 21:44. That makes it 9:44 p.m. UTC, provided I'm getting the calculation right, which I'm never good at. That's why I have computers. I am actually terrible at math. That's why I have computers. That's why I got into computers. I can do algebra. I'm just terrible at arithmetic and basic shit. So, bam. That should be unlocking in about 39 minutes. Yeah, 39 minutes. So, in this case, what we have here is that here, let me go ahead and clean up some of these. There we go. So what we have is the destination for this. The additional contracts, the vaults that they will place it. So here, we've got a YFMS vault. And we have the same contract there. So again, here's our YFMS vault here. We can confirm 9E F733. We can make sure over here, yep, 9E7F33, and bam, we've got that. And thus, in this case, we can see currently does not seem to have any, doesn't seem to have any tokens. So cool. Looks like one person already staked YFMS, and it was one. That is entirely reasonable as a test of the platform. And so, yep, from looking in there, looks like one person dropped in one YFMS, kind of proving out the system, making sure that worked. So, good. We had a verification there. And thus, also, nothing untoward in this case. And as we can see, this is where, when they staked, it executed the transfer to YFMS, because remember, tokens are contracts. They're intelligence that are doing things. Basically, the token is your ledger. Remember that. So made the call to the token, say, okay, well, we're actually going to do that. We're going to transfer that over here to stake. And in doing that, boom, gets staked in there. So, perfect. We have that all set. And if I come back here, oh wait, that was transaction. If we come back here, I'm going to make this nice and easy. Since this is for the YFMS vault, we will go ahead and name that, bam. And we can see in the transaction log that was done here that there is actually this other contract over here. Now, if we double check what was provided me by Commander Astra, that shows this one ends in EEE46016. And if we check over here, we can see this ends in EEE46016. Perfect. They call it Cura Annonia. I'm terrible with my Latin, but basically, if I'm remembering correctly, that would be the cure for anonymity, I think? I'm not sure. I'll have to double check. Anyway, I will come over here in Bloxy, and we will confirm what transactions that has gone through. So again, I see the questions. I will get to the questions. Yes, to be clear, I did not audit YFMS. I have helped with the design. So this means that YFMS technically would not count as audited in my mind. That's why I've been very, very clear. I don't want anyone thinking that I'm saying it's bad or there's a problem. I've just said before that I am not going to, going forward, I'm not going to consider something an audit unless it does look like you can. But to be clear, the rewards haven't been deposited yet. The rewards will be deposited in, well, at 2:44. Well, they'll be unlocked at 2:44 p.m. Pacific time. Understand there might be a few seconds off there because that's just how the blockchain works. You know, we can do it after the time, but we can't know exactly when that's going to be, but it shouldn't be more than a few seconds. So technically you could. Yes, I did say I like the code. And that's where I want to be clear. I'm trying to be totally transparent that I have my standard for an audit. That is the auditing platform that Jeff and others are assisting me with. They're just doing most of the heavy lifting, like I said. So, pardon, getting various messages on Twitter to be short. Oh, and I got the Pavlovian ding. So there it is. So yeah, before they unlock, I wanted to be absolutely sure there. But again, I've got my standard that we're developing an on-chain auditing platform. That way, everything is archived in IPFS, recorded on-chain. No way to change that. We have a permanent record of how a contract was audited, what an auditor did, and all of that. And so, how does a code review differ from an audit? The difference being is that I am holding the standard that an audit is something that comes with a permanent record of who the auditor is and allows for the auditor to review the code after it's been deployed to the blockchain, but before trading is active. That's the whole point of our library, to facilitate that, and therefore having to make the case of, until I have that platform done, until Jeff has, helped me finish that. Actually, like I said, he's doing most of the lifting. So really, I should say, until Jeff and team has finished that. Again, we got another member, but I haven't confirmed they want to be fully acknowledged yet. They're like super anon. For handling that. Until we have that in there, I'm not calling anything audit. We want to make sure that everything, I'm sorry that people can't, remember what I said before. I apologize that price drops, but it's like, if folks don't run around saying things that I didn't claim, I wouldn't have to run around correcting things. And that's where I want to be clear. Like, right now, as far as I'm concerned, nothing's been audited. So, to give you some perspective there, everything out there, in my opinion, that says it's been audited, that hasn't actually been audited. What's actually happened is some dudes went off in private, looked at some code, came back and said that the code that they looked at is good, and that's it. Where's your chain of custody to show that the code you reviewed is what's on the blockchain? We're done to that. You come back, auditing firm, and you say, yes, we say this code that we were handed is good. So, alright, for God's sakes, people. Let's be very clear here, alright? When we are talking audit, we are talking about a very deliberate process, a very regimented process, and one that actually preserves a permanent record of that process. We don't currently have the technology to do that adequately. That's why the team I'm working with is developing that, and we are getting that on-chain to do things properly. And this is why I've been saying for a long time, the standard being, what the auditing firm's doing right now, they've inherited traditional methods. The traditional methods do not work here. And therefore, I don't even consider them auditors. I'm not trying to insult them or denigrate their skills, but it's like, I don't see anything from Trail of Bits or anything from, Sirtic that the code they looked at is verified as the code that's on the blockchain. Which means I could hand them anything I want, they could sign off on it, and then I could go deploy whatever the fuck I want. Okay, great. Or, oh, you deployed the code and then they came back and looked at it? By my mind, that's too fucking late. Sorry, if you come back after trading started, that's not an audit. That's a code review. If you looked at the code before it was deployed and you don't have a chain of custody verifying that the code you reviewed is deployed, that's not an audit. That's a code review. And I'm being, a real stickler on this, and I'm sorry I had to be a hard ass to people and sound a little mean. I don't mean any hard feelings there, but it's I'm coming from traditional finance. I know damn well what legal people and, regulators are going to want to see. And they're going to take one look at this auditing process and go, that doesn't count as an audit. That, fuck you guys. You don't have a chain of custody. You don't have any verification. You don't have any logs. So, this is where we're going to start getting through this. So, yep, you're right. Can you stop talking about this 30 minutes before staking launches? Well, you know what? If people stop saying inaccurate things, and the YFMS people haven't. They've been saying everything correctly. They haven't told people that it's an audit. They've told people that it's a code review and that we're working on things. So I'm just saying, if you guys would stop reporting inaccuracies, I would stop having to correct. Now, we'll get to core, we'll get to all of that. To satisfy those people with, a kind of an audit, I'm going to go through real quick and review the code here, confirm that it is what we reviewed earlier. So, again, pardon on the questions. We're going to go right through this and handle that. And then we'll come back to what's happening is I'm looking at the YFMS code. I'm doing a near audit code review. Technically not an audit because it's not, just don't have the tech for that right now. But in doing that, we're going to look through, confirm that everything is working here properly. So, we're going to start with the Vault, the YFMS Vault. Got our safe math library up at the top. That all looks like standard implementations, nothing crazy going on there. Standard interfaces there, and got an interface for talking with the Cure Anonymous.
They've done a good job there. They've broken the vault out from the actual staking platform. Therefore, they can iterate on this. They can add things to it. To be clear, there doesn't look like there can be any change to what is happening, but more, if they need to add something on, like a different type of vault, then they can do that over with Kiranonia. So again, that's kind of why this is being done. This is a good design in breaking out things like vault functions from the actual staking platform. So over here, got a pretty basic implementation because you know what? It's a vault. It doesn't need to be complicated. This is following the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. And thus, we can see here, provides a nice way to get a user's balance. This is just reading information, so we're good there. It's just looking up and going, hey, how much YFMS does this person have in the vault? So good there. Getting the stakers, so we can list all the addresses that are currently staked. Handy. Get the unstaking fee, so we've got that. Does this, if I remember correctly, does look like the amount that was reported in the tokenomics, so we're good there. So this is, again, just telling you what the staking fee is. In here, for the clean stakers array, we can see that it's iterating through the stakers, and in iterating through the stakers, it is going to be confirming that for any user that's passed in, whether or not that user actually is in place. So it's just going to go through like, all right, I need to check that this user is actually staked, iterate through the array of stakers until it sees that there's one in there. If that's true, then it's going to keep track of that index, and then over here it's going to move that around. So again, not a big point on the contract there, but something to be worth checking to make sure that there's not a bug and nothing can go wrong. In this case, yes, what they're doing is adjusting this and basically cleaning up this array so that it's not taking up as much memory. That's helpful. In staking YFMS, you're passing in the amount, you're passing in the address from, in this case. Now, this, I want to point out here, this is okay because of this line, alright? So we did have to call out people that were following the orb fiasco, which I'm working on folks to fix. We'll talk about that afterwards. Then, right here, this is safe because this has a check. Now, there would be other ways to handle this. We can take care of that. But right now, yes, it is passing in the amount to stake. It is passing in the address that you're staking from, but is doing a check to see that, yes, you are the only one that is allowed to stake for you, okay? So we're good here. Again, we got the questions. I'll come back to the questions there. Yes, you can technically stake into this if you wanted to, but to be clear, the tokens have not been deposited in there. That will be unlocking in about 30 minutes, 2:44 p.m. Pacific time, and that's why we're going through the code real quick and double checking that, yep, it is what we saw. There are some slight changes from what I had reviewed earlier, but they were simple adjustments and some cleaning up of things that, I was already told was going to be happening, so everything is in line with what we saw earlier. We've got good safety checks there. It's making sure that, yes, there is, a certain, making sure that the amount being staked is of a appropriate amount, basically just making sure, like, you're not going to come in with far too little there. Remember, this is not a huge number. We moved that 18 decimal places in. So, from here, making sure that, yes, you do actually have the amount that to stake. Thus, if you don't have enough, it's going to be like, well, you tried to tell us that you want to stake from, but you don't actually have that amount. So, moving on. From there, confirmed that, yes, we're going to get your balance. We're going to put you into the stakers array, so we're going to hold on to you there. And then we're going to transfer from the token, take your YFMS and transfer it to this contract. So it's keeping track of that and saying, okay, I know who you are, and I've transferred you in. And so it's keeping track of those stakers, keeping track, and then transferring those tokens are, and then, boom, producing that check to say, all right, we need to make sure that, yes, this did actually process correctly. So that's where it's calling that stake and saying, yeah, this has to complete correctly, okay? I don't know why YFMS is dumping, probably because people are fucking stupid and not looking at the video. Go share the video with them, let them know that I'm going through this and clarifying. The only thing I can think is that people haul off and say stuff that's inaccurate, like I'm doing an audit, which then, I'm sorry, auditor hat, I gotta put that on and tell people, no, you are incorrect, that this does not count. none of what is going on out there counts. And I want to say this isn't special here. Like, I'm saying all projects out there, unless they can produce a chain of custody, then if they don't have a chain of custody to verify that the code that they reviewed is what is on the blockchain, that's not an audit. Like, nobody's gotten an audit in my mind. This entire sector completely unaudited. So, like, sorry, I'm not thrilled about that, but whatever. Yeah, Telegram is fucking hard. I fucking hate Telegram. Telegram needs to die. But you know what? We can finish up here, and then we can work on the auditing platform. Then we can also wrap up Chain. We can put that out there. The charity should get enough money, and then finally we can buy Telegram and shut them down so we don't have to deal with that bullshit anymore. That, or we'll go over to a more secure platform. We're going to be standing up our own stuff like Mastodon, Synapse servers, end-to-end encryption, that sort of thing. Anyway, so nice clean staking option there. Unstaking, also good. It's calculating the unstaking fee, confirming that yes, the balance that this user staked is what we can retrieve out. Confirming that yes, they're trying to get out more than 0, so that way we don't waste time on trying to do things. Confirms that yes, the person trying to withdraw is only sending to themselves, so you can only get out your own. It transfers from the contract over to say, all right, well, we're going to send that to you. Again, we don't need every argument here, so it comes out. So it's saying transfer this amount from here to whoever sent in the address. But again, we have the check so that you can only unstake your own. Then in here for the transfer, it is transferring that unstaking fee. So again, this is that burn process they were talking about, okay? Now, from here, on the burn total, they are adding that into the burn total, so that way they can keep track of how much has been burned over time. That way we can easily check things. We can use that in math later on. Then they do their unstake, so boom, they're taking that out and transferring that over to someone else, so they're able to remove that and send those funds off. And then they're cleaning up the staker array. Pretty straightforward. This is just good housekeeping. This has no effect on the balance, no effect on what's going on. It is just there. You will have to ask the team on the stablecoin vaults. From the roadmap, I do not believe that is actually happening right now. In fact, as we can see here, the only vault that's out there is the YFMS vault. So this is staking YFMS to get more YFMS, and then later on, the stablecoin vaults will be coming out, right? At least that's what I have from the roadmap. That is what I can see on the blockchain of contracts that are out there. If I'm mistaken, then please always consult the team. I'm merely reporting my understanding and reporting what I've been able to verify. So again, always double check. Yes, a week from now is what I understand. But that's why I don't want to speak for the team, just like I ask teams not to speak for me about doing an audit or doing a code review. That way we can avoid confusion, FUD, and scammers. You have no idea how many goddamn scammers I've been coming across or have been reported to me of people posing as me and either claiming that something's getting audited that I've never heard of, and then showing up to appear as me to say that's happening, and so on. So again, that's also why I apologize for having to be a hard ass, having to be like really strict on the what counts as an audit or not, but trying to be a hard ass. Like I really don't want to be mean, but like gotta be that tough, rigid point to say, sorry, you don't get to announce when I'm doing an audit. No offense, but I gotta make sure that when people are saying that, when they hear, when somebody just mentions, oh, you know, somebody said Coyote's doing an audit, they have that standard of, okay, but did you find that officially announced? In fact, I've got the team on for helping building out the platform. We're going to have on the website, we're improving that. We're going to make sure that we have a list and schedule of audits. So that way you can do an authoritative place to go and say, all right, our auditors are doing this and so on. Yes, finishing the code review. So yeah, distribute vault rewards. Thank you for reminding me. This is just basic ratio math it's doing. Distribute vault rewards. Again, confirming that the owner is the only one that can call the distribute vault rewards, but as we can see elsewhere in this block, the owner is not used anywhere. So the owner doesn't get anything special, it's just they're the only ones that can call this. From here, they're getting the daily rewards from the staking platform, figuring out the number of vaults. They are then dividing up the reward across those vaults, transferring the balance from the vault to the pool, to where the staking reward should go, keeping track of the user balance and the earned, and in this case, again, these are just like local variables to keep track of things, and in this case, they are going through all of the stakers, getting the balance, And so long as you've actually staked, some amount greater than 0, then it's figuring out that ratio to give you that vault reward. So again, this is something that is public, but that only the owner can call, and thus the devs will have to be managing this and calling this periodically to distribute out the staking rewards. That's unfortunately just a limitation in the system. There's not really that many other better ways to handle it. Technically, you could try to do it like every time someone deposits, but that can get really hairy and costly for people doing things. So, quickly moving over to the Cure Anonia, whatever. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with my Latin. Over here to see what the staking rewards contract looks like. We've got the safe math, pretty standard ERC20 interface. We're good there. Cure Anonia, again, it's got a reference to the token, just so I can easily pull that up. Owner, number of vaults, last rewards amount, a mapping to keep track of the vault information, easy enough. In here, yes, it's marking the owner as the message sender, so the dev that deployed this will have that, and they are able to deploy that wallet information. So this shouldn't be a problem. We are aware the devs are getting paid, so that's where we'll just double check down here to make sure that, yes, they are getting paid as they agreed to and have notified everyone. So heads up, that's a thing we're going to check for, but again, not something to necessarily worry about. So again, get reward balance, that's a getter, just gives information, doesn't really, it's useful to see, but it's not really significant to what's going on here and what we care about. They can't really cause a bug. Same thing with get daily reward, same thing with get number of vaults, same thing with get user balance in vault. In this case, technically you could check anyone's balance in the vault. You could also do that by just looking on the blockchain, so that's fine. Update daily reward. This is public. Again, another function for the dev to call, but as you can see now, all it does is calculate the reward and actually update what that should be. So again, in here, as we can see, it's not distributing anything. All it's doing is calculating what the daily reward will be. All right. Then we have update vault data. In here, it's checking to see who the message sender is. So again, doing that check to say, all right, only you can interact with your own vault data. And in here, it is then going through and, if necessary, confirming or handling the staking rewards distribution. So basically, this is when you're going to be updating and withdrawing. This will be part of that cycle to say, all right, when you're unstaking, this thing is part of that call or part of that work there, and thus can move through. Is there a way to increase the quantity to 1080? So oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had done that. I apologize. Like, I could have sworn that I had adjusted that here in the setting there. I apologize. Like, I thought I had fixed my subscription with Streamlabs, and why do you show up as scaled? God damn it. Alright, I'm sorry. I still need to figure this out. I think I just gotta reinstall the whole thing and go clear it out again. I apologize. I will make this nice and big so people can see, and I will get that fixed there again. Sorry about that. But we're almost done, so this should be fine. Like we said, update vault rewards doesn't really take anything out. It's really just getting information and, update, or so going through and adding in the information, but it's only related to you. Add vault, again, only the owner can do this. This is their ability to add in additional vault, so this will be how they bring in the stablecoin staking rewards later. Then we've got stake. Again, here it is identifying which vault you want to stake into, identifying the, who you are and managing that, the amount you want to stake and which vault to send that to, confirming that the message sender is the vault. So to be clear, if we saw over earlier, you're technically not going to handle through here. This is going to get called by the vault that we just looked at. So that's why this is safer than others, because we don't really have to worry about all these arguments here. That's taken care of for us automatically over in code. Yes, this is YFMS, and thank you for helping answer each other's questions. Looks good, Nancy. Okay, thank you for being patient on me that, and thank you for understanding that, I designed back-end stuff. I gotta figure out what the hell is going on with all this video crap. I don't even do front-end design, really. Anyway, so unstake, again, this is one where it's calling from the vault, and so, again, this is just kind of that management and integration point for handling it. It's going to pull, it's in unstaking is going to handle that, and in removing the staked balance, it goes, whoop, off it goes. So again, we saw earlier in the unstake in the vault, where that's the thing that's giving you your tokens. So that's why I want to reassure people here. We don't see the token transfer here, because technically this is a function called by the vault. The vault is what handled over here that transfer, alright? So remember, we have the transfer here. The people are calling the vault directly to unstake. It's just that over here, this is a platform that's keeping track of the staking, and thus, that's why we don't see that here. Alright, so I wanted to reassure people there. And then in distribute rewards to vault, boom, call that, pass in the vault. Again, only the message sender, the owner, can be the message sender on this one. Going to confirm that yes, there is a current daily reward. So this will mean that they'll essentially be calling the calculate daily reward to make sure that's updated, and then coming down here and boom, calling that to distribute it. And so this is a way through this platform they can call out to the vault and tell it, hey, you go ahead and transfer through all the rewards. So basically, we're good. The code matches up to what I saw, what we reviewed. There, as I said, were a few small modifications that we had talked about for cleaning things up. That was simply like syntax, organization, comments, that sort of thing. So we're totally good there. So as it is, yeah, we're solid. We're solid in there. I don't see anything that is going to cause a bug. There's not any complicated math going on. They're making sure to use the safe math library, which is a proven, battle-tested library used on lots of successful projects. It's coming from OpenZeppelin, if I remember correctly. Actually, 99% sure, but, you know, correct me if I'm wrong there. So yeah, this is the code that Jeff and I oversaw and helped them out with. This is what we tested earlier when I was doing that demo and showing you how we handle testing internally for things, and thus we're golden. As it stands right now, you know, unless Astra wants to correct me, then yep, you can go ahead and stake. So we can even take a look at that here if we really like. Like if I call this here, then bam, we've got that. Funnily enough, we can see all the addresses that have staked. Don't freak out, everyone. This is perfectly normal for the blockchain. Remember, on the blockchain, everything you do is transparent. We can see all of it. You can't hide. But, yeah, got a nice entry there. There's our stake YFMS. There's... Oh, wow. Okay, we're now up to 398.7. Wow. Okay, well, we haven't even unlocked. We haven't even transferred over. And, yep, staking is live. Yeah, so by all means, we can head over to the website, show you guys, yfmoonshot.com. Yep. And so, bam, off we go. Remember that I normally am not getting paid by the devs. Normally in an audit, I'm getting paid by you guys. In this case, we got engaged as consultants. So, yes, we are technically paid by them. Had a lot of expenses for the charity, so unfortunately had to sell the YFMS to cover some of those expenses. But, you know, this is off to the races. You can see how much is staked there. You can even go open pool and, you know, go stake if you have your YFMS. So, bam, you are off to the races, folks. And again, we are really just waiting for the timer to tick down. We're at about 12 minutes out. And when we reach the end of that 12 minutes, then that is where Commander Astra will be able to, whoops, over here, if I remember correctly, got the right tab. Yep, that is where from the transaction, so transferring that over and sending that to the current vault, or sorry, the token locking for the rewards, then as soon as we reach that 244 and some odd second mark, when I say some odd second, again, remember, with the blockchain, all we can do is set the time after something should happen. We can't be positive that, oh, you're the Snowman. Hey, Snowman, you're awesome. And thank you so much for jumping in and helping out and spreading word, helping to combat FUD, helping to tell others that, oh, okay, Loon will be handling transfer. All right, well, thank you, Astra, for clarifying that. It makes sense. You're a team. Totally reasonable to break that up. But when that's done, when we have that coming up here in about 10 minutes, they'll go ahead and push that over. But yeah, thank you. I didn't know you were Snowman. Appreciate it, and you're always so helpful on Twitter by retweeting things, standing up against the FUD, letting people know, and that's one thing I really like and appreciate about all the audience, all the community that has grown up around this. I don't even want to say my audience, because like I'm serving you guys. I like the tech. I like learning about the tech. You guys are facilitating me learning more about the tech, getting to experiment with it. And there's always something more to learn, no matter how long you do something like this, no matter how long you're with it, people always have interesting ideas, and I want to see all of it. And so with all of this, I appreciate that you see that I'm very transparent. Thank you. I'm sorry that sometimes that can have an effect on price, and that my assurance, my attempt to ensure quality is, just going to. Oh yeah, imagine just having sold top. Yeah. But that's where I hope that I appreciate everyone that has understood and been patient and understand, when I say, like, I'm sorry, we're going to have to delay and how that can affect price, when I've had to clarify and say, like, sorry, not an audit yet, or, for other projects saying, like, oh, wait, sorry, please understand, I haven't scheduled an audit yet, still waiting to hear back from them, get code and things. It's just, I'm having, because you guys are getting so much value out of me being so transparent and honest, and making sure that I'm keeping up on all that stuff, making sure that I'm letting everyone know exactly what's going on. I'm taking that very seriously from you guys, and thus when somebody's out there, I don't even want to say they're malicious. That's the point. I don't want to say malicious. It's just I have to clamp down on any of that inaccuracy. Let's just say inaccuracy for anyone reporting things, because there's just so many scammers. I want to make sure that you guys are getting clear, honest information. So I don't want to say that everyone's doing that is bad. To be clear, had a little snafu or kerfuffle this morning. I think I smoothed that over with that person. To be clear, not mad at you for saying there was an audit on Hippo, not angry in any way, just having to point out, like, hey, look, you got to be careful what you're saying. I haven't done that, and I may not do it, because I don't know. Like, I need to get the code. I need to look at it. I need to schedule the devs. If they want to go live tomorrow, sorry, not these guys. It's a totally different project. Like, if a dev comes at me and says, hey, can you do an audit? We're going live tomorrow. I'm like, sorry, can't. There's just not enough time. Need to get to me earlier. So that's why I want to be very careful. So that way, because if you go out and say, like, oh, he's doing an audit, he's already talked to them and it's getting scheduled, and then we end up with a scheduling problem, and I'm like, no hard feelings, man. Go on ahead. I don't have a problem with you going out and doing your thing. Well, then we have a reverse of that problem where I have to come out and say, like, yeah, sorry, I'm not auditing them, and that leaves people wondering, like, oh, why isn't he doing that? Alright, so if we just leave it as no one fucking talks about it, no one says shit until I have worked everything out with the devs, we're all in agreement, and then I can make the announcement myself, and we're updating the site, so we'll have a nice list of that, we'll be training more auditors, getting them on board, and all of that. So, anyway, I appreciate this, I appreciate all the thanks that people are throwing in. Yes, it is pumping. It is up to 192 now. This should be updating automatically, and we've got about, 7 minutes before it unlocks, and therefore it can transfer over. So, yeah, here is the price chart that I have right here. Let me see if I can make that nice and big. Ah! That is terrible. Why are you like that? Can I make you bigger in this regard without zooming you in all of the way? Can I do this? You're terrible. Alright, so I'm going to fix that. I'm sorry that my video is not that great in that regard. I swear, I have it set up. I have it set to 4K, and for some reason it keeps downgrading. I don't know what the hell's going on, so I'll fix that. So, have devs... Yes, devs have locked their tokens for a longer duration. So, they locked theirs way back when we did all of this. They locked theirs for 21 days, okay? And so we hit the 7-day mark on the staking rewards, and so that didn't unlock. Or, sorry, that did unlock, and we said, well, the code isn't ready, so we swapped that over, okay? And said, yep, and so then, since we swapped that over to a new vault to get some more time for development and confirm our testing's good, that's kind of why we got Green Dildo. We didn't need that much more time, but we wanted to make sure we had buffer, and we had committed everyone to 7 days. That if we were going to delay, we would delay for 7 days. And so I was insistent that we stick to that. You know, we said 7 days. I know we only think we need 3 more, but we said 7. Everyone should be planning on 7. If we delay, that should be accounted for in everyone's strategy for using this. Thus, had insisted that we set it to 7. But that is ending in a few minutes here. The devs then, their tokens are going to unlock in another 7 days. And yes, they said that they're going to extend their lockup, so I will leave them to comment on that. I just heard that. So again, check in the official YFMS Discord, in the Telegram, on the Twitter. Confirm with them what they're saying on locking that up. But yes, that is what I have heard, and has been relayed to me, communicated to me through the devs and everyone of that. But again, I will always say, go double check with them, confirm that. I'm not saying to doubt, I'm just saying, if I'm asking nobody to speak for me, I'm not going to speak for anyone else. But so far, devs have been great, they've been very helpful. They've offered to help out with some other projects here when they get wrapped up some of the work here and reach a good stopping point, or finish things here, then they're going to come help out on chain most likely. I've asked them, they said yes, but you guys are their priority, as it should be. And so if there's any room to make time in there, then they've certainly said they have helped out, and I appreciate that. Got some other folks that I'm talking to that are interested, so hopefully we can get a dream team together and try to get the chain out there properly. But right now we are here for YFMS, and that does seem to be... Hey, there we go. Now we can get that bigger. So yeah, we are at... Whoops. We're hovering around the 180 mark right now, and we've got that about 4 minutes until it locks up. Dev did not say that they would lock. All right. Well, you know what? How about we go check with how about we let the dev decide that? How about we go check with the dev? They have their Discord, they have their Telegram, they have their Twitter. We will confirm that. Maybe I misunderstood something on the relock. Like I said, that's why I don't like to speak for people, and just merely communicate and make it very clear, like, this is what I have heard, this is what's going on. So, thank you. As far as... Oh, hey, so you are Spa79. Cool, awesome. Well, thank you. Wanted to call out here. This is the wonderful person that's been handling the more direct management, day-to-day, like project management on the chain project. That way I can make more time to help out more people. So I really appreciate that. Heads up there. So you can count them as volunteer for the church and the charity that's doing all of this, and thus are helping organize things. We'll make sure we get the proper recognition there. I'm also I'm going back through people that have helped out in various things and confirming, you down, you really want to be involved, you want to be involved going forward, let's try to make things official, get an official announcement out there, so that way people can know officially with a statement from me, like, yes, you can talk with this person. I am trusting them to be able to relay information to me. Here is the sort of decisions, I can trust them to be making on my behalf. Again, that way everyone's very clear. But we've got it down. We've got like 2 minutes here. Boom. Yes, I will put the banner on the YouTube. I've been very busy. That's where I also need to, get those things set up, start sharing out the accounts. We're all getting to that. This all moved way faster than I thought. Like, I really did not expect to be here with this, like, now. Like, I thought this was going to be a fun thing I do on the weekends occasionally. God damn. It very quickly became a full-time job. And pardon as I yammer, we've got a minute. We've got a minute! A minute! We have a minute before I can transfer over, and that's where we will see here that when that transfers over, it'll come out of that contract over here where it's locked up, and it'll show up in this contract over here. It's literally going to do... Oh, it's going to unlock any minute. So again, we want to give some time because there can be a slight delay of a few seconds from when the time ends to when, boom, it will go on. How long are YFMS locked in the vault for staking? They just are. Like, I didn't see a way to take them out. So they're just there, basically. They don't really have a way to take them out of that vault for staking. They're just, like I said, kind of there until it ends. In here, when calling that, when it was like distribute... Oh, wait, nope, sorry, I'll come back to that and point that out in the code. but we are at the 44-minute mark. Now, again, understand, can be a slight delay here because, of course, they got to take time to execute the transaction. We want to make sure that gives them time because, technically there's like 31 seconds in there, and the blockchain is never entirely precise on these things, and so that is going through, but that should be getting transferred very shortly. We'll get a confirmation of that transaction from the commanders here on what is being converted and moved over. Again, I'm just kind of refreshing here in that anticipation of getting that notification to say that has occurred. Very likely we'll be able to see it pop up here and transfer over before it actually completes on the other side. So again, we are, still coming up on that time. Again, nothing wrong. We're just waiting a moment because we just got to wait for that time to pass and completely unlock. And once it does, then boom, it will transfer over, and we'll be able to see that here and bring that in. And again, I'm just kind of obsessively refreshing here, so don't freak out or worry there. Just me pulling this up and double checking things. All right, so we are getting that through. Let me see here. Oh, whoops. Sorry, kicked the wrong button. There we go. We've got this. All right, so they're still in the original rewards lock, and that's getting done. All right, so hold on. Yes, sing a song. I am terrible at singing. Jesus, no, I don't remember any songs. I don't really listen to music. I listen to spoken word. I listen to books. I listen to podcasts. I kind of listen and watch cartoons out of the corner of my eye. So there we are. Alright, so, again, we were told that Luna is handling the transfer. Okay, no problem. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I got the wrong link to drop on them. They were just clarifying of, there it is. Alright, so, we have that in place. They are just pulling up their links now. Or, sorry, they have their links up, and they're just filling out the transaction now to go ahead and put that through. I see burns. Oh, yes, that burns could be people withdrawing from the vault. Let me double check here what we have. We got approved, transfer. Let me go check the here Anonia and confirm that. So yep, we got the transfer executing, so that is getting set up and should be running. Alright, you said you were seeing burns. I'm just curious on not there. Maybe we gotta go check the token itself. That was the holders. Let me look at the token itself. And there we are. Let's see. We got 2 burn transactions here since you brought it up, and we're letting the transaction go through. And looks like, these were burns from the dev wallet. So if you're looking at another thing and I'm misunderstanding your statement, then please go ahead and correct me. I'm happy to go digging in. But since I saw the IC burns, there you are. Oh, you can see it in the vault. Okay. Let me go over to the vault and confirm. Let me just double check here while that's going through. Yep, still got them there. Okay, so in the... Oh, that's redundant. Sorry. We gotta bring that up. Here we are. So in the vault, let me pull that up. Let's see here. We've got the stake and unstake from. We've got our various methods. Let's go ahead and confirm what's here in the stake and look at some of the transactions here, because this most likely is where it would be. It was a test. Yes. Yes. Okay, thank you for clarifying there. Thank you very much for helping each other out, double-checking those things, and assisting. Yes, thank you. That did clarify things of what was going on. Not sure there really was a problem, but whenever anyone brings up a concern, I do like to answer the question and address that. So, fantastic. And again, you guys are you're just magnificent for helping each other out, educating each other, answering questions, helping me out, so that, we're not Yeah, it's a little test for a tiny amount there. Yeah, so that folks aren't floundering with things while I'm focusing on, well, the show and going through the information. So there we are. So again, it is aha moved over. So let's go ahead and double check the vault and make sure that is there. It should be, but in here we have our transaction out. When we have, oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I apologize. I was seeing up here, blocked rewards. We have our transaction here, where it is showing some of those, and thus we have here, where that address graph is showing things. We've got tokens there. We've got our contract. We have them moving in. All right, and we have. Yes, again, that's down in waves, so that's a tiny amount there. And we have the rewards moving over. Transfer from, get the user balance. Hold on. Hold on. We are just confirming how that is handling. Alright, so we are moving those in. Oh, that was right. Here we are. So again, we can double check the transfers there and confirm in the holders that is there, and we can double check that, okay, we've got the amount here. Now there's a slight delay from Biloxi, alright, we got that transferred. Alright, so they are in Cura. Let us go over there. So again, to be clear, the Cura Annonia is the one that is holding on to that. Yep, and that's the one that's going to dispense that out. And so, boom, there it is. Get rewards balance. We have them there. The tokens have been deposited. We are good, everyone. Everything has gone successfully. We are just fine, all right? So, oh, wow. Thank you very much for helping out with putting up the donation link for the church that is helping out with this. I appreciate this. Yes, that is the church operating as charity that I am working for. We have a success. The rewards are in. It looks like a lot of people are staked, if not everyone, and it's a daily reward, so anyone that might be delayed, might be, busy with work, don't worry, you're not missing out. So long as you get them in today, everything, you'll be getting this, looks like you'll be getting the same rewards as everyone else. So you are good. We are solid. And again, thank you for sharing that. To catch everyone up on what they are referring to, if you're not already aware, yes, the charity that I am working for, the Church of the Chain Incorporated, our incorporation is still in progress, but we are a church, therefore we can operate effectively as a charity. Up to you guys to, verify and justify any donation to us as tax deductible, but we are in process of having that done. Legal fees are already paid for the taxes and filing. Lawyers have confirmed that our charter should have no problem. Our intended purpose of developing secure, reliable, decentralized technology and aiding others in improving themselves and being more self-reliant through the adoption of this technology is solid, straight up charity work. No problem there. We are definitely, we're forthright in this, to be honest. This is what we believe. We believe in the tech. We believe in the data. We believe in the verification. And so we want to continue this on. That's why I wanted to work with YFMS. Speaking of them earlier, I'm happy to go back and help out YF Beta. So we'll be working with them. But otherwise, it is great. So we're solid here. So, whoo! Beautiful. Commanders, you are clear for liftoff. Yep, your rocket is on the gangway. It is in the scaffold, and it is ready to take off. Again, we're a little behind on the Dex tools announcing here, and I made it too fucking small here, but that is where we should be seeing price changes there. Go pump it, guys. Go tell everyone. Go let them know. Help everyone realize the wonderful majesty that is YFMS. And again, I'll be continuing to consult and work with them. We'll continue, helping them out and improving things, by all means. We're working off tips and donations to the charity. Everything you send in is going towards enhancing the charity, enhancing the site, getting more developers on. We've got plenty of volunteers, but we do eventually need to start paying people. And that is where a lot of folks would like to make this their full-time job. I think it's a fantastic first job for a lot of people. We're developing things as a mentorship program. So, if you come in and you're inexperienced, not a problem. We will pay. We'll just pay commensurate to your skill level, and we'll pair you with a more experienced person that can teach you. So, fantastic. Otherwise, this is golden. It is off to the races, and good trading to you guys. So, I do have many things I need to get to. I would love to hang out, but I just want to kind of handle some of the questions that came in, and then we can adjourn, and I can go off to handling things. So, yes. One, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I am. I do try to be a good boy. I do live for the head pat. I live for the tech. I live for the head pats, and I don't want honest head pats, like shitty fake head pats, or just they make you feel scummy. I want head pats for being a good boy. So there we go. All right. So further points. Yeah, arithmetic's terrible. It's very painful. Why is the price so low? The price is so low because people do not have faith. They do not have faith in our God, the blockchain, and the sanctity of the data. But for those that had faith, for those that had the strong hands and the strong will to hold their tokens in the face of doubt, in the face of FUD, in the face of complications and delays, had faith in forthright devs developing legit projects, they will be blessed with the bounty of the chain. See what happens, guys, when you just have faith in the data and you just let that go? I mean, come on. This is like everyone that rode this out, boom. You just, you rode through the whole delay, you didn't sell there, you managed to stick with it, and boom, it jumped back up. And now it's going to get on that nice swing set where it should just work its way back up here, especially since you guys are restricting the supply by staking that and earning more. So, bam, you are off to the races. Again, to clarify point thing, yeah, near audit code review sounds much better. Okay, I'll take that feedback. And that's where we're kind of going to expedite things. That's where every project that's come through, this is kind of me catching up on previous commitments, and since there was an offer to consult, not audit, could use that to generate some revenue for the charity. All the proceeds that the commanders have offered us and contributed for paying us to consult, that is pretty much gone to the charity. Jeff obviously has used some to expense bills. I'm considering that, we'll have to work out the accounting, obviously, but, it is keeping him moving and thus able to continue volunteering and working, so fantastic. I'm generally, I'm a broke doge, but I can turn over enough revenue. I'm perfectly fine there, and thus everything that I've gotten has gone into paying charity expenses. So that's where technically I have had to sell off my YFMS to cover setting up the charity and some of the incorporation fees and other expenses. But, kudos to you guys. Why can't you access the vaults? MetaMask not connected to Web3. Must be connected to Web3. Yes, you're going to have to connect to the site there. That should be good. Yes, open the MetaMask, click the 3 dots. Oh, you got it. Okay, great. You're figuring that out. As far as not mooning, yes, haha. It will moon. We just got to go through that little trial there. This little dip here, I hope people bought that dip there, because, whew, man, I did not know you traders were so fussy about things. Jeez. I mean, one cartoon doge on the internet says, hey, there's not a permanent record here of what's been going on, so I don't consider this an audit. And people are like, oh my god, it's a terrible problem, run away. I try not to, but you know what? That's where we're going to finish the auditing platform. So with that, so again, thank you very much for helping to answer those questions. I appreciate that. So did get some questions on core and what's going on with orb and chain. We are working out the model. We have our initial diagram for generating the our liquidity generation event, and that is where, at the request of the orb community, they asked, a member there asked how difficult, how much time, how much it would cost me to do this. I'm like, well, it's not going to cost us any, okay, not going to cost you anything necessarily, because we're going to do it for free as charity work. That's what we do. We'd like donations. We'd appreciate that, but all of this is going to charity. But, gave them a quote on how many hours it would take, how many resources we would need, and we've gotten gangbusters response. So a lot of the org community is down to help out. They're ready to relaunch. We think we've worked out a nice liquidity generation event where there will be a profit there, a slim one in the sense that, or not even a slim one, but we will be effectively generating profit or revenue in the sense that we are going to be driving more deposits through the chain platform into core. And every time we do that, we're going to be churning over some of that trade, so that way we're constantly feeding more into core, we're constantly getting more out of core, we're constantly trading that back and forth. Worked out a way so basically if someone sells, then if you stake them, you're... essentially what we have is, if you buy in, we go through something akin to the core generation event, and that's going to be chain. You will be able to ape into chain as soon as we have that open, and I want to leave that open nice and long, so we're going to think it's plenty of time. But essentially the idea is we're going to layer on top of that a relaunch of kind of the core liquidity generation event. We're going to keep that going on in perpetuity. That's just how the platform operates. Chain will help core jump. That's kind of our whole point, is we're saying, okay, core, you're doing lovely, you do fantastic stuff, we like exactly what you're doing, and we really don't have a problem at all, but, thank you for sharing that to the chain. That should be the chain Discord where we're organizing things, so yes, come on over there, help out if you'd like, or just keep updated. But again, you're beautiful, man. Like, I am fucking serious. We are definitely getting you on staff if you're interested, as soon as we can afford salaries and whatnot. But again, the whole point there is to be clear. The diagram that you saw, that's our liquidity generation event. Our whole point is that we are going to leverage core even further. We're going to try to drive more investment into core by automating some of the trading and buying process. And by automating some of that, we're going to have a staking reward program there. And that's set up such that if someone, and even the staking rewards, that's a permanent thing. That's not going to be an end. It's just part of the platform and how it operates. And so the idea being is that you can come in, you can buy in, we're going to churn that through core, we're going to hold on to, this is going to launch soon, because I go to the site, and connected, and staking already. It's already launched. Like, when I load it up, not connected, there we are, now I'm connected, boom. So, I'm sorry, maybe you need to, I'm not necessarily like, knocking you, but like, maybe we need to, oh no, that's my ETH and not YFMS, okay. So yeah, maybe that's where you need to double check, like, do you have a blocker on, or some sort of script that might be blocking things? You would disable JavaScript, that would cause a problem, so maybe you need to check that. But we got plenty of people in the community that can help out there. But anyway, as I was saying, that whole point is to drive into core. That's why I was telling people earlier that if they want to get staged up for chain, just go ahead and buy core, and go ahead and stake into core. We're fine with that. And thus, oh, sure, I'll go ahead. Thank you for bringing that up. So, let me show this here. Let me go ahead and disconnect this. So, I'm going through a disconnect process right now, and that's where I'm bringing up my MetaMask plugin. Boom. There's that next to your address there. I've got a name here because I named it that. That's also my tip address, coyote.eth. But you got the little 3 dots there, the hamburger, as they call it, material design. I click that, and then the last thing in that list should be connected sites in the menu that popped up. And so you can click connected sites, and it's got this big long list of all the various sites that you've connected to. And I've been all over the goddamn place looking at things. And so if I look through here and confirm, where is the YFMS moonshot? Now that is wrong, I'm just trying to find that entry here. There it is, YFMS moonshot. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect just so I can show that starting off. Nothing bad here, there's just me saying, alright, I don't want you connected to this site anymore. I go ahead and reload this, and boom, doesn't show anything. Now, if I try to click anywhere, it doesn't let me do anything. So, that is where if I go up to the plugin here, and I click here, boom, I kind of go to connected sites, right there. See that link right at the bottom? So there's this whole list. You don't need to scroll down there. It's just that last entry there. It says manually connect to current site. I click that, brings up the authorization. Boom, click that, and click connect, and boom, off we go. So, what is this vault screen? It's not on the main site anymore. Hold on. When you do that, after you click connect, just refresh the page, and boom, there it is, right there. So again, it's right on the main page. You just have to make sure you connect. After you connect, you just need to make sure you reload, and boom, there it is. It's got the only open pool. It's the only button that works on this whole thing, except for a, I don't know, this is the only button, this is the only Lincoln button here. So you just click open pool, and boom, you can go in. Hadn't refreshed a day ago. Yep, there you go. So perfect, excellent. So seems like everyone's in, seems like everyone's there. How does staking into core help chain? Okay, so let me clarify there with that question. In fact, let me do that by trying to bring up my diagram. So I hope if anyone has questions or anything they want to, bring up on YFMS, I definitely want to make these guys, them the showcase here, obviously. But since folks are asking about core and whatnot, aha, here it is. So pardon as I hadn't updated the names on things. Whoops. Here is what I was looking for. Yes, here it is. Now, I want to be clear here in what's happening is this is... Oh, hold on. I got the Pavlovian ding to collect my bat. All right, so in this, let me go ahead and bring this up since people are asking how this is going to help. Now, this is where I'm following the Andre Cronje model of financial Legos, and I'm putting something on top of core. And yes, who will see Lambo just provide a link to that, so if you want to see this, boom, off it goes. But yes, the vaults are working, YFMS is working, YFMS is doing well, don't want to steal their spotlight. I'm sure it's got a bit of a dip. I'm positive that's just people... To be honest, I don't know why I would have a bit of a dip. I don't know why anyone wouldn't be buying this up and dropping it in, but who knows? Maybe the Fudsters are out there in force. You guys can go ahead and link them this video, and I'll go ahead and just wrap up with the description here of core. That way people can understand, like, why does buying into core now, before we have chain out, help chain later, all right? So that's a very good question. I want to take time to answer that. So if you recall, when core launched, it had a liquidity generation event. And pardon some of the names here. We were still doing a rough draft, and we hadn't figured out all the names. Like, originally I was going to name it Nuclear Core, then I was going to name it Core Chain, and I thought, Church is doing this, we'll just call it Chain. And this will be kind of the Church token, We'll have our own currency, basically. Not that you can realize profits from the Church, because we're a non-profit. That's not how it works. But, yes, the YFMS staking is live, and it's out. Why am I talking about Core? Because we finished YFMS, everyone's already staked, and people asked about Core. And they're asked about Chain. So, how long until Chain comes out? It will come out when it comes out. I'm pulling a blizzard here. It'll be ready when it's ready. We have a great team put together. Who will see Lambo is doing a wonderful job of managing that. Also, Sweet Jones over on the Discord has done a wonderful job of helping manage that. They are filling out staff. They're getting white papers written. And so we're working on this as quickly as humanly possible, making sure that we get it right. We want to make sure that we have no bugs in there. We got a lot of interest. A lot of people want to come in. So we got a lot of experienced people and a lot of new people. We're going to work on that. But to answer this point, is the reason I'm talking about core is because people ask about chain. Probably like weeks. Probably like, 2 or 3 weeks at most. I mean, it's a lot of what we're doing is just kind of reusing a bunch of code. Mainly the point is, the complicated part is going to be coding our EFI token, but you'll see how that works here in a second to where that's happening. So, like, yeah, we're figuring that we should have this in like 2 or 3 weeks at best. We're trying to target this for when the auditing platform is done. And so that way one of the demos we can do for the auditing platform is deploying chain for all of that. And so we should have another demo in about a couple weeks here, and if it's not for that one, then we'll continue on and get it on the next one, which should be pretty quick. So in here, to again, catch up that point of like, why would I want to buy into core now when I want chain later? Well, I'm telling you that if you want to get ahead of the rush, and you'd like to turn off profits now, then what we're doing to start off the liquidity generation event for chain is we're essentially replicating the core liquidity generation event, but we're adding an EFI token on top of it to help back that. So you know how with core, the liquidity gets locked up in core, and you profit from people buying in, and thus you get core out. And so that's where, there's not a margin to profit there, but, the liquidity is entirely locked, it's trapped in the protocol. Even though it's yours, you can never get it out. Even if you can get the LP tokens, you can't redeem them for the core behind them. All you do is get some core, and all you can do is go sell that, which will help benefit. But what we've done is take that and say, okay, that was a lovely idea. We'd like to make that a perpetual thing. So the idea is we're going to start. This is, again, just phase one. We're going to keep iterating on this and having more and more integrations with more and more platforms, okay? So what we have here is, just like with core, you'll be able to sell in ETH. So in selling in ETH, we will then split that. So we'll take 50% of the ETH. We'll go buy core off the market there. So we get our core back off, buy the core off the market. We then take that, stake those two into core. Again, this is exactly what was happening at the core Genesis event. And we're reusing this, but then we're adding some extra steps at the end. So we do that, boom, we get the LP token. So once we have the LP token, then we go over to core, we stake that into core. And at the same time that someone buys in, we also have the transaction that checks to see, okay, are there any profits from core that we can withdraw? If there are, then we're going to go ahead and withdraw those core profits, and we're going to deposit that into our own core vault that we're maintaining. And so now they're trapped in the chain platform, very similar to how the core liquidity is trapped in the core platform. But in our case, we're not letting this core back out. That doesn't get to go anywhere. That belongs to the platform now. You will then, instead, what we do is we do a check and call out to the EFI token and say, okay, I've just added more core in here. Now it's time for you to rebase. And what the chain token is going to do is figure out the price and the exchange rate for core, and it will rebase itself based on what is in the vault. All right, not some price point out there in the world where we're trying to hit $1. We're not basing this on all circulating core, because that's not what is backing this coin. What we're doing is pegging this to the value of the core in the vault. All right. And so, again, this is one where it will work out the ratio, but as more core ends up in the vault, then the EFI token will rebase, it will expand its supply, and everything will be proportional, no one's value will be diluted. As that expands its supply, then you can either take your token, great, I bought in, boom, I can take that off. That's when it's operating normally if you wanted to. During our liquidity generation event, what we'll do is we will take and hold on to the first EFI tokens that we're getting. So again, for like 2 weeks maybe, we're still working out the details. We'll do like other platforms and say, okay, great, thank you for buying in. You have chain EFI available to you that will be released to you once that is in. All right. In this case, we will then place that in the core chain EFI staking vault on your behalf. So you will have the balance there. That will be yours. When the liquidity generation event is over, you'll be able to come back to the EFI staking vault and withdraw that. So if you're content to stake your tokens, you literally don't need to do anything. Like, that's it. Buy in and walk away. At that point, like, you don't have to come back and do any yield farming here. As every time during the liquidity generation event you buy, we're just automatically going to stick it in staking for you and keep track of that. So as soon as the event is over, you're ready to go. Like, you don't have to come back and farm at all. Now, what will happen here is when it goes live, what we will do, or have the option is, say, well, I like this chain, but right now nobody accepts this chain. It's new. Not sure people are going to want to accept it. Hopefully we'll get partners. Hopefully we'll be able to include that, like Base and Ample and such. But in this case, with Chain, while that's happening and while people were going for the adoption, if someone wants to get ETH out, because again, we're not letting this core go, all right? We're, what is it? I think it's the 46th rule of acquisition? I'll have to check my book here. But, as the Frankies say, once you have their money, You never give it back. We're never doing that. You're not getting your core back, but that's okay, because what you have is a chain, a core chain, a chain EFI token that is backed by the core in the vault. So if somebody comes back and says, yeah, I'd like to get my ETH out, I feel this is profited, I'd like to leave. Then we go, great. You go ahead and sell us back your core chain EFI. What we'll do is we will figure out what the debase amount is. So basically, we're going to remove your EFI tokens from the supply. We're going to reduce the supply by that amount. But we haven't sold it yet, all right? So bear with me there. What happens is that we are going to sell the core chain off to the core vault. So we're going to sell the chain off to the core vault, and doing that, we're going to get your share of core, okay? We're going to say, all right, you're selling to us, that represents, your chain token represents a share of core that's in the vault. You would like to get the profit of that. Well, we're not going to give you the core, we're going to convert that to ETH. So we're going to go ahead and contract the supply by debasing it. In doing that, we're then, based on that debase, so you're going to get a good profit there, we're going to say, all right, so we're going to take your tokens, we're going to go buy core from our vault here. When we buy your core from the vault, that's when we will we'll go ahead and sell all of that core off to the core ETH liquidity pool that's already out there, and we will get the ETH back. Now, this is where the platform will take one of its taxes. And so, for example, this is where we will take that 10% or some number, maybe 5%. We'll work that out. We want to run some simulations, be able to show some models to you guys there. But we'll take the portion of ETH and say, okay, that goes off to the charity for maintaining our operation and having done all this work. And that is, again, charity. We're not profiting. Goes to the charity. Charity will then have funding. As long as this thing keeps going, charity will continue having funding. I need to talk to lawyers and confirm if this would count as a tax-deductible donation. I mean, in that you don't really have a choice to do it. It's part of the platform. But if you do, then maybe we can deduct that. But again, I can't say for sure. We're going to talk to lawyers and confirm that. But anyway, having done that, having bought the ETH off there, like, great, here you go. Here is your ETH. Now, here's a point here. That extra ETH, let's just say 10% right now to keep the numbers easy. So we took 10% of ETH off that of what you're selling. Boom, here you go. Here's your ETH. Then, at the same time we're doing this, okay? At the same time we do that, we're going to take all of the core. Now, again, this is the initial brainstorm here. So, at the same time somebody tries to sell their chain to redeem for core, to then sell for ETH and realize an ETH profit, we're going to take all the chain out of or from the staking vault. I know this may seem crazy. And the same time we're selling theirs, we're also going to sell yours through the entire process. Now, hold on. It's not bad. This is an impermanent loss, okay? Basically, this is saying if a whale buys in and then a whale wants to dump, if they want to dump it all in the market and get that ETH back, guess what? If you stake, it's whale insurance. If you stake your chain and a whale comes in to sell their chain to get ETH, then when they sell their chain, we will also sell all of your chain at the same time. So if they try to dump, boom, coordinated trading, you also dump. But hold on, it's not bad for everyone else. Because we give them their ETH and we go, great, that's fantastic. We now have this ETH. A portion is supposed to go to the charity. A portion is supposed to be what's backing the tokens here. But we don't have tokens. Shit, what the hell happened? How do we get these tokens back? We owe them to people. Well, what we do is we take that ETH and we go all the way back to the beginning. And we sell that ETH through and we do the whole thing all over again, getting core, staking that in there. But now, when we get the EFI token back, we move that back over to the staking vault again. So every time, there's no APY for YFMS staking. I'm staking, and I don't know what I'm earning or what's going on. Well, that I will have to say, I'm not sure exactly what is going on there. I think that might just be when I check here, let me confirm. I am believing that might be a flaw in the website. Let me go look at the contracts here. Sorry, let me just recall which ones are which, and then we can confirm where we see the staking rewards and such. Right now, my hypothesis is that it is not showing that because it is the very, very beginning, and the staking rewards have not been updated for the day yet. As in, every day, the staking rewards get updated, and then that figures out, how much everyone should get, and actually can dispense that out. And so that's where I'm thinking that, let me see here. If I look at the contract, read, Curinonia, burn amount. Goodness, there's a lot of stakers. Get the unstaking fee. Okay, so, sorry, not the one I should be looking at. I apologize. Let me clarify which one that is. Hold on. But again, that's where my thought is that it has not... Whoops, that's an old one. I think this is it. Oh, sorry, that's a transaction again. I apologize. Yes, here we are. So, let me go and look that up in Etherscan, and we'll be absolutely sure what is going on there. But like I said, I'm double checking now to be sure, but my thought is that the staking rewards just hasn't been updated. Yeah, see, that's entirely it. Is that the current daily reward and the get daily reward and the get, it was just deposited, it has just been set up, and because there is the functions, like over here, where it is able to keep track of the stakers, and it is able to, update much of that. In fact, if we write to this, then we can see here where it's distribute rewards to vault, and the update daily rewards. So again, that's where it has just been primed, things have just been loaded in. Since it is literally just set up, this one hasn't been updated yet. And yes, that's where you're getting it. It'll be added in later. And to be clear, it's not even that it'll be added in later, it's that it's there, it's just that it's calculating based on numbers being calculated here, and the numbers get calculated as part of updating what the reward should be and distributing the rewards out to people. So, thank you for being patient and understanding. Thank you for, getting the answer and accepting that, so appreciate that. So, yep, everything's going through. We can see the transactions in there, and really it's just a matter that this is going to get called every day. We'll distribute the rewards out to people, and when that happens, then, boom, you should have that updated on the APY, and this is where it'll be reporting that APY every day as that gets rolled out to you. So, there we go. Beautiful. So, with that, I hope that answers people's questions on what's going on with YFMS. It seems to be solid. Project's good. Also, hope that answered questions, people, on why would I want to buy into Core now if I want Chain later. That's because we're starting off our liquidity generation event by building on top of Core. We are in the liquidity generation event. I'm learning from other projects and building in this whale protection, this whale insurance to say, look, if you stake your Core, then every time someone sells, we're going to run a portion of that Core through the system. We want to do some of the math and confirm that, we're not going to cause an intermittent problem or an inadvertent problem here. So again, we're going to do a lot of simulations. We're going to have demos for you guys so you can see those simulations. You confirm everything's in there. My God, man, you are so good. Thank you. May the data bless you. Actually, the data is blessing you because you're here and you've got contacts, and this is beautiful. So I love this community, guys. I love it. We may got some problem people in here, not here, but in the world, but we'll figure that out. So yeah. Oh yes, that's the point. Is that Chain is going to help the Core stakers in that it should drive more traffic through Core. On top of that, yes, you are correct, because trading volume will come from the Chain staking platform into Core. You're entirely correct on that. So that's why it's going to help Core. I'm not competing with Core. I'm not fighting Core. I say, you're great. I want to use you as a cash reserve. And so, no, I'm not going to test in prod, for fuck's sake. No, we're gonna get this up. We're going to put it out on testnet. We're going to show everyone how to get some test Ethereum. We'll put it on a few different test nets, and we'll actually let you guys interact with it, and we'll just, we'll just have a faucet in there. Like, here, just click this, get some ETH, get some Core. You guys can run through that and practice with all of that. But again, as I was saying, yeah, you're entirely right. This is going to help out core because it's going to drive more traffic through there. On top of that, we're planning. Again, we're still working out all the numbers. We want to run simulations with a few of them, but we can. We're going to take little bits of tax off like each of these little transactions. You know, like a 1% tax on everything we're doing here, and that's going to go to the charity to help fund that. And that will go like a portion will go to the charity, and a portion will go to building up this thing's own reserve as it goes through. But that is where, as we do this, like right here, for example, see, when we started off and I started with that model of, well, you drum in and you sell us ETH, and then we have to go take half that ETH and buy core, so then we can come back and stake into the LP, so then we have the token for the LP to then go stake into core. Well, what if you just have the LP? Because remember, in core, technically you can unstake your LP. In fact, we were talking about it last night with people. I didn't know it was here, but apparently there's a secondary market where people are selling the LP tokens out on Balancer, which I think is kind of cool. You know, some people don't want to be stuck in core anymore. They like to sell it to somebody else. Boom, off it goes. And so we are taking advantage of that and saying, okay, go ahead and go into core now. You don't have to worry about like realizing your profit from core and trying to figure out how to get it in here. For this, you can just go ahead and unstake your liquidity pool tokens from core, bring them over to the chain staking platform, and one of the things we'll accept is the LP tokens. And to say, well, if we accept your LP tokens, then we don't have to charge you the tax here for going and buying core. We don't have to worry about like the input loss. We don't have to worry about the exchange rate or anything. Like, oh, you already took care of that. Cool. Just run it through us. That way we have more profit to realize out of core, and you'll realize the profit that you were getting from core by having the chain EFI token, positively rebasing. So, where can I ape into YFMS? Bonus points if you test in prod. One, not going to test in prod. That's not bonus points. That's a problem. As far as aping into YFMS, that is where, let me give you the actual contract address here for the token. You can just head on over to the Uniswap like anything else, and boom, there you go. Let's see here. For others, for the liquidity generation event, will you require core as the point of sale token? No, we are not requiring core as the point of sale token. That is where if we are going to accept ETH, and then we are going to go through the process to buy core to then stake into core, through the liquidity pool, to then have, basically, this thing is locking up that profit and saying, okay, we're not taking your profit, but if you let us control the profit and trade that in conjunction with everyone else, then we'll give you this EFI token that's backed by the core. And this is just the beginning, all right? So that's the point here, is that this is just the first one. We've got other ones where we're going to do things like load that up on, I'll get you something to message me. That is where we're going to load that up on top of Trib. I want to find some other platforms that are doing similar things. I've been pointing at a few, like Dollar Supply. I want to talk to them. They're doing something similar. Basically, we just want to expand this out, have more EFI tokens. So again, this is our liquidity generation idea. And then from there, you can, boom, we're going to keep building this out, and then we'll be getting the actual margin by running things through. And great, so there we are, Nicholas, working on the white paper for the project. Beautiful. So they're the ones typing that up from the diagram, and they'll be letting me know if they need any questions or help. We'll go over the draft, make sure it's in place. And again, it'll be a draft. We'll have some numbers in there. We'll probably start with like nice big round ones, like 10% tax. So please don't freak out. Or we might put in like 1% tax and then have to bump it up to like a 2.5% tax. We'll figure that all out, but just understand we're just working through the math to see what would be reasonable to start with. All right. So with that, I got a lot of work to do. I want to make sure that I can get the auditing platform out in time. I want to make sure that we can get core out at a decent point for you guys to recover things. Chain out in time. So go ahead and buy into core if you got anything left, if you'd like. Again, not a financial advisor, can't tell you exactly what to do, but, it is there. So, with that, unless anyone has any final questions or anything to comment on, then I think we can adjourn. I think you guys should probably go share this video, because I think the Fudsters have managed to take a hit, possibly from my little statement there of like, no, you can't call this an audit. It's a code review, and I'm not calling it an audit because I'm consulting, and therefore I can't audit something that I have helped design. I need to get another auditor, but I don't have another auditor. But we're training another auditor. I got some promising people that are candidates there. Yes, I'm looking at you, Foxy, that can help out with that, and we'll get them up to speed, and boom, have them going. So, again, dollar supply. Let me double check here. Pardon. Um, Again, I want to be clear here. I have no idea. I'm sorry, dollar protocol. My apologies. I have no idea what these guys are doing. I have no idea how they operate. I have literally just been told, hey, here's another EFI token that's kind of doing what you're doing. Why don't you go take a look at them? And so apparently they have like a share and another thing, so I want to go talk to them. Anyone that knows how to get a hold of these people, here, now that I found it, I'm going to drop the link on you guys. Again, if you know any way to get a hold of these people, you can help out at all. You can politely go to their various channels and say, hey, there's a dude over here that we like, that we think you should talk to. I'd love to collaborate with them, just because I'd like to collaborate with a lot. And I see that they're kind of doing some stuff here, so maybe we can help. Maybe we can even reuse some of what they're doing. But we'll probably layer chain on top of what they're doing there. So there you go. But again, want to set that expectation. I'm not saying they're good. I have no idea. I literally got the link and a rough explanation of what they're doing, just like a couple hours ago. So please don't take this as an endorsement. I have no idea what's happening with Dollar Protocol. I'm going to be looking into them later and trying to talk with them to see if we can handle that. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate you like the content. I appreciate your learning. Please take this on. Do great things with it. Teach others about it by all means. And if anyone's interested in... Okay, so again, for people connecting, we will address that. For people that are having difficulty connecting, little lesson on your MetaMask here. Let me go ahead and disconnect so I can show you guys. But if you, over here, see that little dot? I'll show that in a second as I disconnect. Alright, and then I really will need to go, and I'll have to leave it up to you guys to try to help. Let me find out where that is so I can disconnect. Oh, I think it's down here. Yep, there it is. It's in order. Alright, so if I disconnect there, and then I refresh the page, boom, I'm not connected. There's no button or anything for me to connect. I'm stuck. If I click on my MetaMask, and then next to where it has my address there, I click the 3 dots, and I go down to Connected Sites, then there's that blue link at the bottom of there. You don't have to scroll or anything. It's right there. Manually connect to current site. You click that. It brings up the verification. You click yes. You click connect. It'll say connecting. Boom. There it is. You go ahead and refresh the page, and boom. There we are. Yeah, maybe use Chrome. This is Brave, so there you are. So yes, you guys are fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, if you guys can help me get Dollar Protocol's attention politely, please. Then, and not that you guys have been marvelous and wonderful, polite, and I feel like I gotta say that when I'm when I'm possibly inadvertently unleashing a raid on someone else's server. All right, let's be gentle there, boys. But yeah, there it is. Gonna work. But again, main point here, YFMS, it's in. You can stake. You got a ton staked. Looks solid. Dollar Protocol, that was just something I was mentioning as something I was talking about, and obviously interested in talking to them later for collaboration. And we talked about chain, so there we go. Yeah, I know, most places have it done already, so there you are. So yeah, for that, again, passing out the wrenches, because you guys you're fantastic, you're helpful, you're answering each other's questions. I really appreciate all of that. So, and I really appreciate that you guys are looking out for each other, and that's really... That's why I like Decent. That's why I like Decent. That's why I like DeFi. This is why I like crypto. You're actually taking a cartoon dog on the internet somewhat seriously. I mean, I may be goofy, but I'm always serious. So I really appreciate that, because I feel much comfortable in my natural form. When I have to put on the human suit, it's just it gets sweaty and the fur gets all messed up. It's annoying. So yeah, with that, again, thank you. I apologize that was so short, but, I got a lot of work to do for you guys. I want to make sure I can keep abreast on that, all right? So I'm going to go off and have a nice working session with the guys of the church, which will be our basically a prayer session for us. Processing data and serving others is our prayer. So we're going to have a nice long prayer session to try to churn out some results for people and be able to help folks out. Otherwise, thank you. And again, thank you, Lambo, for reminding people about the donation platform. Again, it's a little retro right now, basic proof of concept. We're iterating on that, going to improve that. That's going to turn into our whole church site where we'll be listing the audits the church are doing. Audit DAO is still coming. We haven't dropped that. The church is just a way to bootstrap that because we can handle things a little better and a little faster that way. And with that, again, if you want to donate anything else, you want to send in YFMS or anything else, then feel free to just send that to coyote.eth. And if I get YFMS, I will go stake YFMS over here. Your guys' call. Otherwise, then thank you, and I will bid you a good night. I will probably just like wrap up a few messages on Twitter and Discord, and then have to call it a night and get to work. I hope all of you, your faith in the chain appears to be duly rewarded, in that you will be blessed with the bounty that is YFMS, and I will come back, and this is kind of why, let's not step on their toes. Let's go ahead and let this go through. I can't commit to it, but like roughly about the time, YFMS and some others are finishing their staking, that's probably about the time. Again, I'm not trying to time it exactly, but I'm thinking in the time delay, that'll probably be about the time that we'll be ready to have some portion of chain out, or at the very least, like a huge update so that you guys know what's coming. All right?